Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Rob Lakota, the political vigilante. Grab Elwood. Hi, you guys.
Hey.
Howdy, howdy.
All right. Grab shooting a big TV show December 17th. That's Sunday out in San Bernardino. It's a stand-up show, right?
Yes, it's stand-up. So it's also it's a charity event, really, because the FNX is part of PBS. So you're donating to Native American arts. Your ticket is a tax deduction. You're supporting Native American comics and Native American arts and culture. So come on out December 17th. It's at 7 p.m. at the San Bernardino Valley College Auditorium. You can get tickets if you go just to my website, grahamelwood.com. And subscribe to Political Vigilante because they keep taking those away.
Yep. We're all in the same boat on that. Okay, well, good luck on that stand-up show on Sunday, Graham. So let's talk about the Alabama Senate race and who won it for the Democrats. It was a squeaker. Democrats barely beat a pedophile. That's how bad the Democrats are. They barely beat a pedophile. So here are what white men, 74% of white men voted for Roy Moore. And get this, 65% of white women who voted for the pedophile. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? You figure women would be the one that we have a tough time with. No. Women, 65% of white women. Turns out black women they had a tough time with. Black women voted against Roy Moore. 97% voted for the Democrat. 92% of black men. Who are those other 7% of black guys who voted for Roy frickin' Moore? The guy who said things were better when we had slavery.
That's mystifying to me that there's any number that voted from black people for Roy Moore.
So those 7%. Those must be the business owners or something. The African American business owners who think they're Republicans. Then they don't know that group really doesn't want you there.
No, they wouldn't let you in the front door of their house unless you were there to clean it. Like that's exactly who that's mystifying to me.
You know, there's that one guy who has that T-shirt that says "Blacks for Trump," which it's really just black. Black. And he has that on, and sits behind Trump at those speeches. And he was at the Roy Moore victory party, which wasn't. And he's just walking around, one black guy, and they're not talking to him.
No,
they're not talking to him. They don't want anything to do with him. They're like, oh, I'm glad he's for Trump, but he's still a black.
At the most he's getting is you're one of the good ones or something that. You know, they're getting some awful thing like it's mystifying to me.
I actually thought that guy was a paid extra for the longest time.
I'm sure he's paid.
Yeah, you think?
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna speculate that he's paid. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Trump has been known to pay a crowd when he announced his presidency. He paid, I think, 50 people to show up and cheer for him. Right. So that was the story. That he definitely paid people to show up. I think I remember it being 50. But anyway, back to this story. So there you go. The blacks really came out for him, Doug Jones, and against Roy Moore, right? So the thing about Doug Jones was that he successfully prosecuted white racists who killed black kids, right? So you can see why black people would be like, hey, I'm on board for this guy.
Yeah.
Right. So you can see that. You can see where they were motivated to stand up against white supremacists like Trump and Steve Bannon and his ilk and the people they're endorsing like Roy Moore. Right. So you can see why the African American community was motivated to get out. Right. So plus also Doug Jones he campaigned.
Yeah.
He went and talked to those people. And so they came out for him. Right.
Yeah, I don't think Roy Moore did a lot of campaigning in the black community in Alabama.
No.
I don't think he did.
I thought he brought his message of things were better during slavery to the black community. No, he didn't bring that message?
But I know they have a, quote, Jew lawyer. I know that.
They do have a Jew lawyer.
That's good.
Our lawyer's a Jew.
Boy, nothing says acceptance and equality and diversity like our lawyer's a Jew. Boy, that just...
nothing says non-discrimination more than our lawyer's a Jew.
Yeah. Is that how you list him in your phone?
Jew
lawyer. Jew lawyer. That's what it just comes up. Bang, look who's calling. You know.
Hey, Siri, call Jew lawyer.
Oh, and pick up my dry cleaning from the Chinaman.
The yellow. Roy Moore referred to Asians as yellows and Native Americans as reds.
Wow.
Did you not know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he referred to yellows and reds.
That's gross.
Like, he's acting like he was born in 1920 instead of 1960. When was Roy Moore born? 1950, 55, something
Probably,
like that?
That's about right, yeah.
Yeah, he is acting like he was born in 1900. You're like, no, but right? You know that we don't call them reds and yellows. He's doing that on purpose, right? So anyway, back to so here's what Tom Perez said. Tom Perez says, "Let me be clear. We won in Alabama and Virginia because black women led us to victory. Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party, and we can't take that for granted, period." Yes, but you have been taking it for granted, and you're taking it for granted. Yes, you are, right? Because you're not doing anything to help black women, unless gutting welfare, what Hillary Clinton did while exploding the prison population, if that's what you mean by taking care of black women. Or how about when you ended the New Deal banking regulations, and so then the economy crashed within 10 years, and you know who got hurt the most by that? Black and brown people who went to college. Those are the people. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I was going to add, don't we have the whole concept of donut Twitter because a black woman was suppressed by the DNC? A black woman named Nina Turner?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she wasn't allowed to speak at the DNC convention, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Oh, that's right. So the Democrats, you can't take black women for granted, but we will bar them from speaking at the Democratic National Convention. And who will we let speak? How about a billionaire white guy who instituted fascism stop and frisk, which is also racist, in New York City? How about a billionaire Republican who instituted the racist fascist policy of stop and frisk? He can talk, right? But not Nina Turner, because she might say something people actually want to hear. She's not going to carry your corporate so that's why they're full of it. Guess who sniffs them out? That the Democrats are full of it. That Tom Perez is full of it when he says this, and all the Democrats have been ignoring blacks. They haven't been doing anything. But why would black people get off their ass to vote for Hillary Clinton in Michigan when she sent all their her and her husband sent their jobs to Mexico with NAFTA, and while they were trying to get those people to vote for Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama was pushing the TPP at the top of his lungs. And you wonder why Hillary Clinton lost? I bet it's because of Susan Sarandon. I bet it's because of someone with no money and no power.
I thought Jill Stein and the Byrne Bros and Putin locked arm in arm around Wisconsin and Michigan and prevented her from campaigning there. That was my understanding.
That's what I heard
From Russiagate.
I heard Jimmy was there, too.
Okay.
I was there, too, doing that. So here's Charles Barkley, and he has a message on the victory of Doug Jones over the Roy Moore. He has a message for the Democrats.
Well, this is a wake-up call for Democrats. Your Democrats, and I told Mr. Jones this, and I love Doug, they've taken the black vote and the poor vote for granted for a long time. It's time for them to get off their ass and start making life better for black folks and people who are poor. They've always had our votes, and they have abused our votes, and this is a wake-up call. We got it in a great position now, but this is a wake-up call for Democrats to do better for black people and poor white people.
And poor white. So it's time for the Democrats to do something for the poor. That's what he's saying. It's time for the Democrats to reach out to the people who have been disenfranchised in this economy. That's what it's time for the Democrats to do. It's time for the Democrats to actually, the black people has just delivered for the Democrats. It's time for the Democrats to deliver for the black people. It's about time they delivered for black people and poor white people. That's what Charles Barkley's saying. He gets it. He gets it. He knows what's going on. He sees what's happening, that the Democrats actually don't do anything for anybody. So it's about time. And so I don't know if you know, but Jackie Robinson, the baseball player, took a lot of shit because he endorsed Nixon over Kennedy. That's a long time ago, I know. But he's made the point that you can't let one political party think they own your vote, because then they ain't going to do anything for you. You got to let them know that you're willing to support someone else, so then they have to actually do stuff for you. That was his, and that's a good point. I don't know if I would have picked Nixon, but that's the point. This is the point that he's making. So now they've always had the black vote, and when are you guys going to honor it? So this is the whole thing. Where this is,
especially in Alabama.
especially in Alabama. They've done
The UN just did a study that Alabama has poverty at third world country levels. It is the poorest state of any industrialized country in the world.
In the world.
In the world, right here in America.
Right.
So Alabama's doing this, and like this isn't the only state. I just talked with someone who has a YouTube show. Redneckonomics has a show in West Virginia, and she's talking about 50% unemployment in West Virginia and rampant opioid drug problems. It's not just Alabama. So Charles Barkley, I didn't know he was a progressive. I just thought he was kind of a jackass sometimes, but that was amazing. And the Democrats better wake the fuck up to the fact, because there is a lot of seriously poor people or people about to be poor or barely functioning. And if they keep abandoning them and just go resist Trump, this will happen. This will be a one-off.
Well, but let's be fair to the Democrats. I think Charles Barkley made that video before he saw the new slogan, "Hey, we're not pedophiles." So he might.
So Charles Barkley, from what I remember, used to like to call himself a Republican. And I think what happened was he got out of sport. He got done playing sports, so he had free time on his hand, and he started to pay a little closer attention, especially when we had an African-American president, and he saw that they weren't helping his people. I think that's so. It sounds like he's aware now that the Democrats. So he gets that even though I might want to think I'm a Republican because I'm rich, those guys still don't want me in their club. In fact, they want to shoot me and put me in prison. Right? Charles Barkley gets that now. Let me put a picture of him up. So Charles Barkley gets that point right now. So I think that's what it is now. He realizes that no matter how much money I got, they still look down their nose at me. Right? I'm not in part of their club. And so I think he diagnoses it perfectly. It's time for the Democratic Party to do something for people besides their donors and rich people. I don't think they're going to. You got to pull them kicking and screaming just to give people a $12 minimum wage or some kind of shitty right-wing healthcare plan.
I mean, this is obviously good that Roy Moore lost, but my concern is that the Democratic Party is going to go, see,
Yeah.
We got it.
They already started doing that.
Yeah.
They already just started doing that, Graham.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
right.
totally. And you know what? I'm sorry. Centrism is not the answer when you go from being the party that couldn't beat a reality TV star to the party that was able to beat a pedophile by less than 2 percentage points. Okay? You don't have anything figured out. Yeah, I'm glad Roy Moore lost too. Of course I am.
So what they're saying is because of what happened in Virginia a couple of weeks ago and what happened in Alabama, look, the Democrats are back. See, Trump is toxic. The Democrats are back. Which is semi-true. It's not true because if you look what happened tonight in Virginia, the candidates who were the furthest left did the best.
Mm-hmm. And
right?
I like to say, you know, the Democratic establishment taking credit for some of the progressive victories.
Yes.
That's like the school bully taking credit when someone they bullied goes on to do something amazing with their life.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the same logic.
So there was a full-blown socialist one in Virginia against one of the top two guy, the Republican in the state. Supposed to be a safe district. A full-blown, he calls himself a socialist, won that race against one of the top Republicans in the state in Virginia, and it was supposed to be gerrymandered safe. So the furthest left people won, especially also in Philadelphia. There was a Black Lives Matter lawyer. He became the district attorney in Philadelphia, which is a place that went for Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. So the furthest left people won that night. And now the corporate Democrats are trying to say, see, all we have to do is not be Trump.
I'm really curious to see how 2018 plays out in terms of a lot of corporate Democrats, if they do get primaried, as we've seen a lot of people go up against like very entrenched corporate Democrats, how if they win, and then that means more progressives start taking over the Democratic Party, as Nina Turner is pushing, she's like, we need to get people in the seats within the committee and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the corporate power base of the Democratic Party is going to do. Are they going to resist harder? Are they going to smear these people? Are they going to acquiesce? What are they going to do? Because this isn't fixed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, I don't know how, I really can't predict how they're going to react. I haven't seen them do anything other than purge progressives and smear progressives.
They're still doing that.
But
so they're in the middle of a unity tour. Tom Perez purged all the progressives from the DNC. It's unbelievable.
Well, and how about some of the new policies that Mike Tracy exposed
Right,
that we
right.
talked about on this show, where it's like, well, you can't do this, you have to do this, you can't do this. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say anything bad about your opponent,
Mhm.
who if he's a corporate Democrat. So, by the way, it turns out those reforms that those aren't. They were kind of I was being BS'd a little bit about those reforms. I did a little more looking. They said, how they said, oh, well, they're getting rid of the superdelegates by 60% and 40% of them will have to vote. I hear that's not true, actually. I don't know what you've heard, Graham, but I heard that that they're actually going to be unpledged, meaning they can vote any way they want. By the way, that's not even a rule yet. That has to go in front of the Rules Committee, and then it has to be voted on by the DNC. Remember, Tom Perez just got rid of most of the frickin' progressives, okay? So now, and by the way, we won't even have that vote until right before the 2018 midterms. So these new plans aren't being implemented yet, and they probably won't be.
It's more are their fucking table scraps to progressives. This is what the Democratic Party, we're doing reform. They give you these table scraps. It's all bumper sticker bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like, when Obama sets the Middle East on fire, oh, I got gay marriage passed. Well, I'm glad gay marriage was passed. Thank you so much. It was good. But while you did that, we started the Yemen thing, and now we have 130 kids die every day in Yemen. So it just feels like this is more like we're reducing the superdelegates. They'll get rid of the fucking superdelegates are bullshit.
Yeah, the appropriate number is 0.
Zero.
That's the appropriate number.
Get rid of
of
that
Zero.
whole fucking system. Don't give me like, well, half of them, because they've cooked the numbers.
Yes.
They'll still make the superdelegates can move it their way. And they'll go, hey,
they're
reformed.
And then they're only unpledged, like the first round of voting. I mean, they're only pledged to how their state voted. I'm hearing contradictory things, so I'm going to look into it more. But the stuff that I'm hearing says that they have to vote the way their state voted the first round, but the second round they don't. So I'm going to look more into it. I know it's not good.
It's bullshit.
I know it's bullshit. And just get rid of the super delegates. This is a no-brainer. Yeah. Why are you trying to? It's like the Obamacare. It's like just give us a public option and stop it already. Right? But again, just get rid of the super delegates. Stop all this bullshit. Well, 60% this and 40%. We're going to keep the mayors and the governors, and then they'll still be, but they won't really be. And just get rid of them. And if you don't, no one's voting for the Democrats. How about that? Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Well, you know what my prediction is?
What?
Going on what Graham said about, they'll give you table scraps to make it seem like I think they're going to concede to the things that will actually benefit the party as a whole that are good things. The idea of being able to vote absentee in a caucus, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Anything that makes voting easier for people, I'm for, and that's a good thing. And higher voter turnout does usually help out the Democrats. But as far as things that will make them concede to more progressives, i.e. getting rid of the superdelegates, i.e. more transparency in the budget, that's where they'll put their foot down and be like, oh, we'll make voting a little easier for people. We're reformed now, but this other stuff, no, I don't think so.
They flat out said to Nina Turner that Nina Turner came with them recently, and they said, oh, yeah, we'll do this. They will not open the primaries to independents. They just said,
They're not gonna, right?
That's not even debatable. It's not even, they just said, nope. And that's
what I thought. But then I must have missed it. We had Nomi on the show yesterday, Nomi Konst, who's a progressive fighter, and she seemed very optimistic about it, and they did their job. They had some really good reforms, and now the Democratic Party's ready. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to invite her back on.
It's
and
window dressing.
Maybe she could, because I don't think so. Just like what you said, Graham, it's just I heard that they were going to, because they can't force the states to open their primaries. I guess the DNC on the federal level, they can't tell states to open their primaries. They have more control or more influence over caucuses at the federal level, but they can't I'm pretty sure there's stuff you could do to make sure. I mean, maybe there's not technically, but there's ways.
They get federal money. This is the thing that drives me nuts. The Democrats say, well, it's our party. It's a private organization. We can run it our way.
You get government money.
If you get government money and you're having elections in federal buildings like
schools,
schools, libraries, and stuff like that, then no. Then you can't do that. And it's
right.
All it is because they did it this past election because independents are going to independents that are considering voting for a Democrat are going to go progressive.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's who they are. And it's just like, and so they any way that they can block and shun them out, and because if you control the primary process, you've got it.
You got it.
Because only 25-30% of the populace shows up to vote in the primary.
Right.
So then you can just funnel who you want your corporatists to the general.
That's exactly right, Graham. So, well, we'll see what happens. I think we know what's going to happen. The corporate Democrats are not going to help out poor black women and poor black whites. They're not. They're again, on the margins, they will do things, right? But they're not going to. Where's the jobs program? Where are the Democrats pushing a jobs program? Right? They still don't have one. Where's the Democrats' alternative tax plan? They still don't have one. Where's the Democrats' alternative Pentagon budget? They don't have one because they're on board with the Pentagon budget. Where's the Democrats' alternative everything?
Student loan forgiveness.
Where's
free
their
college tuition? I mean, on
Right.
and on. A Green New Deal. Where is it?
Where is their right now? It's cheaper to build. It's cheaper. Solar energy is now way cheaper than coal. So according to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who I saw on Monday, he said that, you know what that means? That there will never be another coal plant built in the United States. Isn't that something to think about that? Because now it's way cheaper to build solar. Well, the Democrats don't even talk. I don't even know that. I had to go to a rally to hear a guy say that in public, right? Why isn't the Democrats? Why isn't this their whole where's their Green New Deal? Because they don't have one. Because they don't have policies to make your life better. They we're just a little less shitty than the other guys. That's the Democrats. And Charles Barkley knows that, and so do you, and that's why they almost didn't beat a fucking full-fledged pedophile who got kicked off the Alabama court twice. Now, for you to make sure shows like this still stick around, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell so you get a notice when we drop a video. They're all subscribing people, so even if you think you're subscribed, make sure you double-check and you're subscribed. Also, please become a patron, or you can pay through PayPal to get our premium program. We give lots of extra stuff. Or come to a live show or get a T-shirt or a mug for the holidays. Thanks for your support.